Interesting.
right? So then there is this Pit of Fire, Juanita Martin. Okay, Sex and the Lottery. This is all from the Phoenix Journal. I'm going to show who wrote that. Okay, hold on a second.
All right.
This is very interesting. This angle, nobody thought about that. Okay, here comes this. Is that big enough?
That'll work. Yep. AIDS, the last great plague.
So this is the person who is their channeler.
Oh,
so
it's even got an Ashtar in there. Okay,
Ashtar,
so
Nikola Tesla, Walter
Jesus
Russell.
Ananda, and this is getting into Nikola Tesla and his mentor, Walter Russell.
And this is, according to them, this is the Whitco thing. Whitco 91 was the plague. Or I don't say it the other way for algorithm reasons. Okay, CV19. Right. So this is Dharma, okay, copyright. The next movie, which is going to be the last movie of Nolan, is called The Odyssey.
Yep.
And The Weeknd has a song called Odyssey, and he's going to be part of the movie The Odyssey. AIDS was the last plague. So lots of people now know that Fauci was working on AIDS, and Fauci was instrumental in putting AIDS virus into the vaccines.
Yep.
Okay. This is what their content is. I've dropped this document in the Google Drive so you can make it available for others. Phoenix. Mind you, this is written long back. This is not from recent. But this was shared with me by one of the recruiting officers of this team called Hatan. They also sent me that same DNI document that our Sabrina talks about, how she associates that with Flint Network, right? And right. I showed you a couple of screenshots from there. So, okay, so this goes on. This is 1989. See there?
Mm-hmm.
And if you see this all bold, all capital, this style, you can understand who writes like that.
Okay.
It's supposed to be screaming or yelling in writing practice. If you know writing, you would not write everything in all caps ever, right? To people.
Right.
It's considered impolite. So I am Emmanuel Esu Sananda. So this is their version of Christ.
Yep.
And then somewhere here, okay, let me try to search like this. October 11th, 1989, 7 a.m. She's talking, this person is talking, allegedly this was a she before, but later it became a he, which became Michael Quincy.
Mm-hmm.
And who is also the leader of the Galactic Federation of Light, or light bearers, or whatever you call them. Isn't it in Christian mythology, Lucifer, the light bearer?
Yep.
Okay. So these people all believe that part then. And the demiurge, I have never heard of that term until this guy came.
Yeah, I think they think of it as someone good, right? But it's...
So you know who is this Bearden, right? Mr. Bearden?
No. I mean, I might have heard it, but I can't think of anything right now.
I know of only one person with that last name, which is Milt Bearden, who was the chief of the Bin Laden unit in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And he said, we never caught or captured Bin Laden. This person was very upright. He said, we never did.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
so many stories on that one.
So this is the Ashtar group, if you can see. The Pleiadians and the Ashtar commander, or the Blue Avians, or whatever. The B cells, T cells. Do you see that?
Yep.
This is where the T cells post came from. The AIDS virus came from.
T cells, and how that one was where on the board was that one? Let me look it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
T cells. Post number 751. That wasn't very far into it, and that also included Operation Merlin.
Yeah. We already discussed that. Now look at this page. How do you like that?
Marching to Zion, the ultimate order.
This is exactly what's going on in Israel right now. Greater Israel Project. They have given away Golan Heights to Israel. Now they are going to take down Syria because they were able to breach the gates of Syria now. The Palmyra Arch was already taken away from them. So the word Salusa, you just read it on Quincy's board or Quincy's blog site.
Mm-hmm.
This person, whoever is speaking as the channeler here, as Hatan, also uses the same salutation. Let me see. The yacht business or something here. Hold on, let me come back. Oh, it's becoming too long for this video, I think, right? There you
Well,
go.
it'll probably be
This-
over. Here we go.
Here you go. See there,
Oh,
the salutes are salute. This is their salute. They do
salute.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
And I found a video of Lord Stephen Christ guy some time ago. I don't know if it still exists or not. He was dancing with a mask on, and then he takes out the mask in the last part, and he turns out to be the Hatan guy. They all follow that book of one or the book of Ra. Ra is Amen Ra from the Egyptian mythology and stuff. So they all believe that they are in power. Those people are in power. Here you go.
Yeah, but you think that somebody that was affiliated with this was posting on the board the last time it's
They were. And how I found out, Ramtha came out to post saying that Q is divine intelligence.
Oh my gosh.
And Ramtha lives very close to where Riconosciuto was in his last years in the SeaTac prison. So this is from the Phoenix Journal, page 65. Look at that.
Yep.
So you see how many similarities are there between the Q posts, these people, the Galactic Federation of Light, and all these people. They all come together, right?
Right.
And let me see if I have something else to show you. Otherwise, we'll move on.
And they all have their agendas. The thing is there's a lot of people that know that this is the kind of stuff that was going on, but they have not told the truth about it. That's my opinion.
Here comes the next one. Look at this.
Rise of Antichrist.
So there is a guy named Donnie Darkened on Twitter.
Right. I've exposed him too as being a fraud.
Right.
But at the same
Right.
time, I think he really believes in what he's talking about. With
He believes that Trump is the Antichrist or Elon is the false prophet or Messiah or whatever,
right.
precursor to the Antichrist. They all believe all that, but I can't say anything. Use discernment, right?
Right.
And I already showed this page, I think, before. Is there a Trump part in this? The current Jewish question. So remember the only post or the couple of posts that happened about why we have kept Israel for the last.
Right.
They have never addressed that part. Never. Why Trump is in complete support of both Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. So Vince Foster's things come in here. This was Foster. But they never criticized Bill Gates. They never criticized Bezos. There's not a single post about Bezos and Richard Branson or others on the Q board. Nothing is there. Absolutely nothing. Then this one you already probably must have seen on Sabrina's works.
Sure.
This one?
Yes.
I already had seen
that a lot.
these. Yeah. A lot of work. She has done a great job on that, trying to educate people, right?
Right.
So this is all done.
And that's the part that I hate, that people use the Q, whatever they want to call it, movement to not fear anything that's actually happening. And Sabrina Wallace and some of these people are trying to expose something that's very important, but people won't want to believe it because no, the world's being saved. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. That's the part of it I don't like, is that people have put so much faith into this Q thing, no matter which perspective you have on it. Correct. Is that you think that everybody is being saved right now in the background. And I'm telling you, the more I freaking have searched on this and found things out, it is not the case at all. Now, maybe there's, some good that's trying to be done. I'm not saying there's not, but it's not on the grand scale, the Q operation that you're trying to say it is.
Yeah. Well, the disillusionment should have started when Epstein went to jail and Barr was the AG. Barr covered up the Lockerbie crash.
Yep.
That's why I want people to watch that docu called The Maltese Double Cross, and also how Bush Sr. was in charge of the octopus until his last day. Then he gave away all the security codes and keys to James Baker III. And there was another James Baker III in Twitter 1.0 who was censoring everybody. Okay? And there was always a dichotomy for me, whether I believe everything or not, because when you really want to find out things, you start going into, loops of things between real and unreal. So I wanted to separate out the two and understand that, no, not everything is real. You have to have a higher sense of discernment and responsibility towards your society. So one particular post of this Michael Quincy which attracted me was, they claimed that they saved Obama from a missile attack when the aliens were wanting to kill him and Obama was not playing ball with them. They stopped the missile by countering with their own missile and saving Obama. So they put Obama in play, according to them. The same story then came back with Ramtha when the Hawaii missile crisis happened. So they started saying that we put Trump in play. We elected him. We are the people who are controlling him, from the Ramtha cult, from this Pleiadian cult. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, Trump is just a builder who builds good towers, maybe good casinos and golf courses. He's successful in one way. He probably failed in many ways. He has plenty of flaws. I give him benefit of doubt. I supported him, right? I got personal invitations to support Trump campaign this time. I said, okay, I'll send some $25. How does it hurt me?
Yeah.
I probably would have given that $25 to some homeless guy, right? On the way to a store or something. But I thought that probably he was a better candidate than Hunter Biden's father.
Right.
Because I have looked at the entire Hunter Biden laptop as well. The contents are really bad.
Right.
So I can't, in my heart of hearts say that these people are all good people, right? Kamala Harris was one of the worst candidates ever, knowing fully well what she actually should have represented and what she actually should have said about herself and what she proposes and purports to be. She's no African American, right? So all those things came into play. But anyway, not politicizing our talk that much. Coming back to this point where I think there was lots of good. So lots of people must have benefited. They must have awakened, especially about the mainstream media is the enemy of the people, which Trump is right about. He gave them the term fake news media, and it caught on like a fire worldwide. Even people in India, the Indian Prime Minister started saying the same thing, that you are fake news.
Right.
So, okay, so that's the good part of Q, and lots of people must have learned a lot of things. But the dicey part for me was post-February 2018. After that, nothing much happened. Nothing came true. The elections were all gone in one way or the other. Nobody predicted accurately that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, the 2018 elections were horrible. Horrible.
Yeah. Lots of things went down, and Nancy Pelosi becoming speaker again. Nobody predicted that part. So anyway,
no one's getting arrested. No one's freaking faced justice publicly, if you want to say that or whatever. It's been all this Gitmo stuff. The stuff that drives me nuts is the stuff that doesn't even make logical sense, unless you're just saying that the military or whoever is outright lying in the sense of like what their code says about who can go to Gitmo. The idea that people are being arrested behind the scenes. And the thing that really drives me nuts right now, JRM, is all these Q decoders claiming that all these 17s they're seeing in the news and all these tweets and stuff, and they're going on using like Elon now, and even George Soros saying that the white hats have taken him. Like, all this stuff is such nonsense that they've got people worked up into frenzies thinking all this amazing stuff's happening just because they got like 17 showing up in the news. Overriding all the negativity. Joe Rambo posting news treason, and their whole focus on this 17,243 or something like that acres burning in California. They are just highlighting the fact that it adds up to 17, and therefore you're overlooking all the tragedy that's happened. That's what's pissing me off.
Okay, so you touched something brilliant there. So I'm going to elaborate on something brilliant. So when all this was going on, right, there was one slogan which became very popular, and many. Now you open the keyboard. Let's talk about the real things.
Mm-hmm.
So you open there and type in dark to light. This is going to stun lots of people when they start seeing that dark to light. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
I wanted to start from the very beginning when it first started.
Yeah. That's fine. So SA Extraordinary, that's the Saudi Arabian events. Okay. So you see, that's November 11, 2017. So according to me, that's the real Q. Okay.
What's with all the triple plus, the double plus, the plus?
Yeah. So he was explaining about the pyramid structure of power between the monarchies, the Saudi monarchy on one side, the Vatican on the other side, and the English monarchy or the UK monarchy on the other side. So the triple plus, two plus and plus, and then Q. He was talking about when Trump went to Saudi Arabia, they asked him to put his hand on that globe, the crystal globe, and initiated him into that bigger league.
Right.
Until then, Trump was just a private citizen for them, a builder and things. So who was the connector? Was Rex Tillerson. Rex Tillerson was
Okay.
Trump's Secretary of State, whom later on Trump fired.
Yep.
Because of something that went wrong in Ghana or in some African nation. So Tillerson was brought back. That was one of the biggest mistakes that Trump made, according to me, a normie. I'm not some political genius or pundit, but that was a mistake because Tillerson was a solid guy. Pompeo was the bad guy.
Right.
You have to understand that.
And people, just real quick, because Q people, he is when Q posts Kansas.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Pompeo. Yeah.
Right.
Trust Ray, trust Sessions, trust Kansas, trust Huber, and trust Durham. Right.
And basically everybody they told us to trust, or the boards told us to trust, turned out to be rotten.
Yeah. And in fact, Mueller turned out to be a good guy.
Isn't it
because
crazy?
it did not indict Trump at all. Mueller was brought into the foray to efface or completely take down or redact the 9/11 documents. Well, it had nothing to do with Trump. But before Trump could go after those 28 pages that Obama had classified as top secret, and you cannot go back and do anything about it, those 28 pages included 2,500 banks that actually financed the 9/11 operations through Buzzy Krongard, Bill Gates, and others. The bankers did 9/11, not somebody else. The word terrorist was Dick Cheney's play because Dick Cheney was Halliburton. He was controlling the arms, deals and all the military contracts and things. Imagine washing your skivvies and your uniform or your shoes or your laundry bag per soldier in Iraq war was $100 per day. That's the amount that Halliburton was charging from the US government. That's how $2.3 trillion went missing on the 10th of September, which were not found by anybody, right? According to Rumsfeld. So look at this dark to light. So scroll down. Okay. This boom, boom, boom. Stop there.
Yep.
So if you remember this boom, boom, boom first post was rigged to red. Can you check if you can find that one?
Rigged to red?
Yeah. This happened immediately after the Singapore meeting between, it's not there? Yeah.
Rigged to red. How do I?
Or rigged for red, not rigged to. Rigged for red.
There we go.
There you
rigged
go.
for red.
So look at that. The fiddle, as I told you.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Nothing can stop what's coming.
So that's, and then if you see, there should be a boom, boom, boom post about that because there were those booms everybody was talking about, like Sather and praying medic in VRR, hearing booms. I mean, God is speaking to us. And yeah, so this one,
booms and row.
A week to remember, right? This one on the right, that's immediately after the Singapore visit, I think. So if you invert this thing, it becomes a Glock pistol, this image.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yep.
So that is Pamphlet Anon posting this thing.
Oh, really? And you think they knew this? Like Sather and Praying Medic, these guys knew that, right?
They must have all known, but they were all playing safe because they wanted to be the 10 members of Q team. Everybody thought that I am part of the 10 members. But there were hundreds of them. They didn't realize because they cannot cross-talk between anybody because don't tell anybody that you are communicating with the Q team.
Right.
That's the biggest selling point for them. And they were all downloading the app called qmap.pub and also the keybase.app.
Yep.
So if you download those programs, automatically your gadgets are, visible to one person who created that app. Like recently in Mar-a-Lago on the election night, Joe Rogan spoke about this, that Dana White told him hours before the elections were declared that Elon Musk has created an app which looks into the projection of who is going to win. And 4 hours before, he already congratulated Donald Trump, saying that it's over.
Yep.
Right. So it's the same predictability I talked about earlier in my previous video with you, that like astrologers, they can, to a certain length of time, predict that this is going to happen, but you can't do it for 7 years or 15 years from now, right?
Sure.
Okay, so this dark to light became the editorial company name for Tracy Beans and Ann Vander Steele.
What?
In DC. Okay?
Oh my God.
So Ann Vander Steele brought the money or the money connection for Tracy Beans. So she became the chief editor of Dark to Light Network, whatever, in DC. Okay? And Corsi was a hand in that too. And then now you open a blog site for BoBidenFoundation.org or com.
.org.
Yep.
Bo Biden. It's just B-O, right? B-O.
No, B-E-A-U. That's how you spell it.
B-E-A-U, Biden.
Foundation.org. So go to search somewhere and see if you can type in dark to light. Oh, okay. It's asking you to verify. You could do that. That's harmless. So dark to light was a theme of this website where it involves child protective services people. Can you see if you can see a theme somewhere, like who are we or whatever, mission? Yeah, just check that, mission. Yeah, go down.
Bright light on crime.
Dark to light was a theme of theirs. Be the shield for the child. Click on that. Get involved. Just go up there.
Where's that at?
Yeah, just
shield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that. No, they probably took it out.
Yeah, too many people were figuring it out, huh?
Yeah, I figured it out, so somebody else could have also done it. But check somewhere, if you have a search bar somewhere, check for the term dark to light. Or check what else is there on about. Our board. So this is their board. Hallie Biden or Holly Biden?
Uh-huh.
Fred Sears, Michelle D. Shepard, General Frank Wawala. These are the people who were running this operation when he was the AG of Delaware and Kamala was the AG of California. So they were running the operation called Dark to Light. And Hunter was having an affair with Holly or Hallie when Bo was serving in Iraq or something. So they sell people the story of how compassionate they are. In reality, they were involved in trafficking, probably. We don't know that. That's how this Q drop started, that we have to expose the dark to light theme.
Here we go. I found it.
You got it?
Yep. Let me pull this up. I don't know why you can't search this and why it didn't show up, but here we go. Let me see.
But you will see tons and tons of that information.
Darkness to light, stewards of children.
Brilliant. So every post that was happening on Q for dark to light was actually making money for these people. Algorithm. That's how algorithms work.
Yeah.
So you were only helping what these people were doing. That's how Rudy Giuliani got hold of the laptop from this guy named Isaac something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Israel or something. So anyway, so this is one more angle I wanted to give.
Okay.
And then you wanted to wrap up with something, or you wanted to have a segment for yourself to say some things.
Yeah, well, it might get into some areas that might be its own video. So
okay,
I guess you'll be able to cut
I can cut it out at this point and then consider the next part is a fresh one, right?
Yep. And then just to give you an idea, if we do these live premieres, then it would be it'd have to be 2 hours or less.
No, I would be very honest with you. I would not do anything more than this right now until some of my projects are on and I'm, some work is going on.
No, I mean, like when you cut these, if when I put them onto my Rumble channel, it has to be less than 2 hours. So if you have like a longer
I will give you 45 minutes, something like that. We'll cut it
into segments.
Cut them into parts. Yeah.
That'd be great. And then I wanted to cover some stuff just that I had, and we'll see where the conversation goes.
Okay, let's
And
go.
then some of the we went over how it was Walter Bosley.
Yeah.
And what about, I don't remember what you were talking about with Roy Potter.
Yeah, Roy Potter was the person who pepped up Tracy Beans and Corsi and others initially because he came across as a real military colonel. He was just some odd character from Utah or some Mormon,
Yeah.
this thing background.
Is this dude really still out there? Like is
He's
he
there.
still out there doing like YouTubes or something?
Yeah, but there was something called paste bin, right? That's what Defango and Unirock used to use to pick up their posts and put it into paste bin and find out everything about them, where they were posting from, what they were doing, what was their background. So, these were all very dubious characters.
Right.
They were not real people, but they helped propagate that there was real threat for Trump. He could get assassinated, and we have to do something about it. DEFCON 1, he made a big hue and cry about that. So I tested him. I went and directly posted to him on Twitter that there's something called Merlin operation. Be careful. Don't get involved in these nonsense. And the next post about Q on the Q board is about Merlin. So I caught them red-handed that way, So it was easy because Tracy Beans and others, they're not even real journalists. They are
Right.
pseudo journalists. They're armchair intelligence journalists.
Right.
Most of them are like that, and that's why when you really come across real people, when I got Austin Steinbart checked out, the people who looked into him, they said he's just a knucklehead working at NSA as a contractor for some time, and if he really meets real people in the back alley of something, then we can teach him a word or two.
I never took that guy seriously, just the way that
No.
he carried himself.
Yeah.
And then I remember he did something with James Rink, and when they were saying that he was a super soldier. And so like it was just all like, this guy's full of crap. He doesn't even he can't even talk in a way where it makes me think that he has a military intelligence ability to write posts.
You remember there was a super soldier movement at that time with Mike Prince and the boy who died in Poland,
Spears, Max Spears.
Spears, and then there was Duncan O'Finian.
Oh, I don't know.
He was on Carrie Cassidy's podcast.
Okay.
Camelot films and stuff. All those years were all about these super soldiers people. I don't believe in any of those things. As I just mockingly took that moniker from my Twitter handle. But in reality, there is a super soldier program called Artichoke, which Michael James Riconosciuto talks about. So Project Artichoke was real. And it later became Aquarius, which you read in Norio's blog site, and something else called Capricorn or something, or the Phoenix Project. So in Artichoke, they were training 11-year-olds or 15-year-olds in a building which was owned by Hewlett Packard, and Mossad and CIA and NSC used to train these kids who had special abilities, just like our magnet schools, right? When they send your children to test and they are extraordinarily brilliant.
Yes, and I believe that's something that Sabrina Wallace claims she was part of those programs.
Right. So I can believe that part. That really happens.
And then when you think about them doing the biodigital convergence, merging biology and technology or biology and digital, whatever.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, right. They're trying to improve us, make us more sustainable, and they would have like a section where it would be for soldiers and for militant purposes.
Right. So all that I believe. But there are people who can't claim to do things, and then later it just turned out that they were kooks, like they were heavy into marijuana, or they were delusional in some way. So
you have a lot of people claiming to do like 20 and backs.
Oh my God!
They go and they go up into space.
Cody Good kind of person, Emery Smith. Oh my God!
There's a lot of those
on Mars.
There's going to be people on this channel that believe all that. So please do not get angry. We're just sorting through the things that we believe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But as much as I got into like James Rank, Super Soldiers, and I love Max Spears, I love some of the Mike Prince stuff. I got into it.
I have spoken to Mike Prince one time. He was here in San Francisco with a friend, and those were good guys. They were honest. They went into trouble because he got conned into those Johnston guy, his interviews,
Johnston.
and
Yeah.
there was this Teal person also.
Okay.
I'm forgetting their names. I'm not
I
too
know
good
there's
with. But there are hundreds of people you have to remember. But I spoke with Mike Prince one time. He was a good person. He was a good guy.
Yeah,
He
and I
was in
think some of these guys
Canada.
might even believe that stuff because they've
Yeah,
been put through some things. But I'm
correct.
not saying, and we're not saying, I mean, you can say whatever you want, JRM.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying I know, and I'm saying that there's a possibility there's things going on that we have no idea about. However, the
same
more you
thing.
uncover a lot of these people that are the most outspoken, they end up becoming full of shit.
Well, the same thing is about MJ12. There is a real MJ12 group also there, like Samantha Powers or Susan Rice. They are all permanent MJ12 members. That's
Right.
why nothing happens to them. Michael Riconosciuto probably had access to them if he was not part of the group, but he was at least in access. And same way, there is also Dumb's thing. I don't completely disbelieve that, but there is a lot of truth there. Like this guy, the weekend guy, he's posting about Dumb's. He was part of the 17-year-old kids, again, the proverbial 17 there,
Yeah.
that some people believe that he was taken away to the drums and then he was brought back. And,
Right.
all these people who become big celebrities or they become, um, famous, they start living in that kind of fear because the billions of dollars or hundreds of millions they have in their banks, they're constantly in fear that somebody's out there to get to them, right? Like
Right.
Michael Jackson was like that. Tommy Mottola is the devil, and the next thing is somebody's trying to kill Michael Jackson. Then the odd part of Michael Jackson's death was after his death, Deepak Chopra, of all people, comes out and says that I was a close friend of Michael Jackson and he was on Demerol and Adderall and all this nonsense. That was the reason he died. On the day they declared that Michael Jackson died, the ambulance that was going on, riding into his home in Encino or someplace, we were watching live on TV, and there was a Time Warner cable van coming out of the house. So my people started questioning. Maybe he was hiding in that van and he escaped and he was never dead. Lots of stories started floating. But
Right.
then same night, Larry King live, there's Miko, or Miko, his bodyguard, comes on, and there's Dave.
Dave.
His
Yep.
voice exactly matches Michael Jackson's. Eyes might match Michael Jackson. He was very much into disguises and prosthetic and stuff before too.
Yeah, there's
Michael
so
was
many
quite a
around that one
character.
because there's also the theory that he got burned up in that Pepsi commercial, I think it was.
Correct. Yes, I know.
And so he was replaced with a double, or he had always wore like the stuff on his face because of the burns.
The one thing you can never replace is somebody's vocal cords and their eyes, the way somebody speaks and stuff. The clones can never speak like the original if there is clone. But first thing, you have to believe there are clones because I don't. Scientifically, it's not possible because science has not even recognized in the spirit. They don't know how the spirit is, the magnanimity of the spirit or how minuscule the spirit is. They don't know the length and breadth of it for them to replicate it.
But what
Unless there is
have you been to clonade.com?
not yet. I will check it out.
Yeah, you should
But
check
my
that
cousin
out.
is too deep into that Donald Marshall things, and
Donald
he sends
Marshall
me
is-
links,
Yeah.
Vril Society and all that thing. Then he forced me to watch a couple of movies. X-Files also talked about the cloning facilities. There's lots of 17s in X-Files and 24.
Yep.
Hollywood plays along the scripts they mock. Even Homeland mocked 4chan board. Claire Danes' character, Carrie Batson, in that goes and uploads a picture on 4chan because she's wanting to find out who this guy is, and her computer gets hacked, and she's supposed to be a case officer for the CIA, and then she's blackmailed, and she goes and takes out that person. It's just ridiculous nonsense that people believe that 4chan, 2chan, which used to be a pornographic website before.
Right.
Freddie, what was his name? Brennan. was constantly talking about all that. When he thought that the Watkins were doing the Q post, he started exposing them. He got into trouble. He had to run away from the Philippines. Same way, every person who thought that, okay, this is a real military sting operation, that's not how military works.
Right. We would never use those kinds of boards, man.
No.
Like, we
It's
keep
felony.
saying, like, there could have been some good intentions behind what the whole purpose of it was in the beginning. However, like, I want to get to the point. Like, so what do you think? Okay, a couple questions since you touched on the Michael Jackson stuff.
Yeah.
I believe that there's some kind of a queue or something like that on the Neverland Ranch, and then I thought that there was also a queue at the gravesite of JFK. What about those things?
Those are just conjecturing for me. They were not
Conjecturing.
intended to look like you.
They made
There's- Yeah. There's lots of crop circle posts. You can draw a line, you can just morph it and make it look like a Q.
Sure. And then
So-
there's been people that have misrepresented one of the military's formations that looks
Exactly.
like an inverted Q, but they call it a Q and it's not even a Q.
Yeah. All
Like
that
a
is just
photograph.
art, like I just said about Zakowski's son, who used to do the design work for banners and things for people. So somehow Flynn's banners used to change, and that looked like Peter Zakowski Jr.'s artwork. He went to a university here just behind LAX. I'm forgetting its name. It's a brilliant art institute. And they both lived in Long Beach after Zakowski's retirement. And Zakowski Sr. was the first person who talked about remote viewing and even tarot reading and lots of things. So he was, Riconosciuto's claim was that his first wife, Phyllis, was in some kind of a hypnotic capture and control of Zakowski, and Philip Booth Nichols was the original guy who John Philip Nichols, John Philip Nichols, that was his name, who started the Wackenhut joint venture on the Cabazon Reservation. This was in 1980s or 1960s. So these people go that back in time, running these psychological operations. So Flynn is even relatively newer, if you consider that.
Yes, I want to get into that, but I want to end with Flynn and that whole situation with Vandersteel and Tracy Bean. I want to focus a little bit more on like some of these guys like Jordan Sather and Praying Medic, because I feel these guys built platforms on this whole thing, and I don't know, Praying Medic kind of disappeared or whatever. He kind of distanced himself from Q, or at least.
There is a particular post that I sent you, the TGAP, those screenshots, which actually shows from where they stole the codes for the military codes, and they were posting exact codes on Q posts as if it was real military post. Then when I checked with people, they said this is some obsolete website 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that still exists on the website. So these guys never thought that somebody will cross-check and find out. So Praying Medic was actually, which one of my friends used to call him Praying Mantis. And they connected him to a civilian intelligence network, just like Norios, but it was named something else. And in an indirect way, it connected to Pegasus.
Which is Flynn.
So Pegasus also connects to the hacking of the UN members and their cell phones, including Angela Merkel, HRC, and others. And this was before Q came into the scene. And the Gulen kidnapping story. That's where Flynn's credibility goes down. He was acting as a foreign agent for Erdogan's Turkish government after he was thrown away by Obama from the NSA. And he was promising to deliver Gulen by kidnapping him to a foreign agent, foreign government. That was a problematic thing. That's why Sessions was told by Obama and others that you cannot hire Flynn for NSA.
Yeah.
Because Flynn is the person who built up the NSA architecture before Obama found out how powerful this guy was becoming with the surveillance tool, and then Edward Snowden happened. To this day, I don't believe Edward Snowden is still not on the payroll of NSA and CIA. I still believe it could still be, But some of my other military friends, they say, no, he's a traitor. Because for them, yeah, obviously he must have put lots of operatives in danger,
Right.
whatever he did with his expose instincts, right? So it's a very murky and dark area, which we should not go into, I think.
Sure. I
Go
just
ahead.
want to know, like I'm saying, some of these characters that probably wouldn't get us in so much trouble, but I didn't know the praying medic would leave to Pegasus and then therefore Flynn, because
Yeah,
he's an
it is.
interesting one. Because remember, I think that you might even have said he was saying that God told him that Q was real and that he needed to report on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he built like a platform on it. He's done mini books and done all these tours and presentations where he's made money. Like I'm
Yeah.
saying, when I cover a lot of the grifters. Jordan Sather, I looked up on his Substack, and literally in August of last year, he was making a post. Q is a psyop meant to keep people complacent equals a low IQ NPC take. And I'm saying that like this dude freaking knows way more than what he's letting on, and he's still in some ways grifting off of Q.
Yeah.
I
I
can't
dropped that
stand that
PDF
stuff.
I told you about on Sather, 1,024 pages something. You can just sift through that on the Google Drive. I've sent it there. You can move all those files to your folder so that others can also access if they want to.
You
There's
just
nothing
put
in
that
there, but I don't like putting out somebody's personal phone numbers and things like that out there. But it's
Right.
already there because somebody else put it out there. It's not me who did it. So I just looked at the PDFs and I said, okay, this is good information about these people, how they became the biggest grifters.
Right.
So yeah. So
And then
playing
there was multiple posts that actually, because he even calls this, and this is like his claim to fame, I think, what at least got him going. I'm talking about Jordan Sather here. I went
Yeah.
on his Substack and was kind of messing with him because that's kind of what I do, but they just ignore me. Anyways,
Sure.
I wanted to show that. Like, why was somebody posting them that included, Sather and looks like.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
All right, you can hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what is going on with these posts that included Sather?
Yeah. So this was the time when this Andre guy and Sather were having a big fallout. So Andre figured out that Sather was also posting SQ.
Oh.
Okay, so they started calling out each other. It became ugly, and they stopped talking to each other in public. So like it was really bad stuff. So that's why this started happening.
But Andre wasn't posting his Q, but he found out Sather was.
No, Andre was also posting SQ. Andre was a computer nerd. Andre was into coding.
So all these guys were just like making money,
they were making
creating
money.
their own reasons for Q. And like I said, man, so you have in here, you have what? You have 4 posts that include Sather.
Yeah.
And so it's like it got him, like his name.
Yep.
And I'm saying that he is still, let me show this real quick, to this day, still utilizing Q
to keep
in a way to make
legit,
money and to drive interest and to whatever. Like, look, he's getting plenty of, I don't know how big this guy's platform is, but he's still thoughts on whether Q will ever post again. He's like still pretending like it's a thing.
I know.
And he poses in this, was Q a deep state or was it a white hat good guy operation? I'm like, dude, you call out grifters and all these people for the Gitmo stuff and all this kind of stuff, but you are still participating in the grift of Q, pretending like you never had any part in it. And you're saying right here, he was getting exposed by a guy named Andre, and they were all fighting over the boards.
Well, Andre moved away from these people after he created that MJ12 _TS _SCI ID on Twitter.
Okay.
So he sucked all of them in. Like you showed me the other guys decode videos on that one person from New Zealand or something. Then he also vanished.
Magic Eyes only.
Right.
Only.
So Andre was first Michael Trim, and then he came out because he had a fallout with Sather. So he created a vault site called Raven, RAVEN.
Mm-hmm.
He had a YouTube channel, but he doxed himself and he said, I am the guy who was posting as MJ12 on Twitter. So he's the one who compiled the whole document of the DNI thing. Okay. So that's why all the computer coding, everything, it's all, this guy's a nerd. He's from Boston. He studied in a computer, program college. And
he was pretending to be MJ12 on Twitter.
Correct. So
That's
the document that Sabrina also talks about, it's his work. He's the one who is the typist as mentioned in that document.
But what does it mean? Because like, I thought the MJ12 thing was like somebody was getting information allegedly from these guys.
The
and
real MJ12 people are different. They still exist.
They investigate UFO kind of stuff, right?
They are more to do with, I mean, they are protected people, as they will have some clearances. Most of them are in the league of probably the Hastings guy, Rolling Stones guy, right? Those were MJ12 kind. Like, I would not be surprised if a Wolf Blitzer or Jim Shudo or Anderson Cooper also have same clearance. Because, like, for instance, there was a Q post about Anderson Cooper and his brother sitting with his mother, Vanderbilt, right? Gloria Vanderbilt. And as soon as that post went out, Anderson Cooper's post came out, pathetic loser, and it was directly to real Donald Trump. And then he immediately deleted that tweet, apologizing, saying that that was some staffer who got angry about the pictures of me and my brother posted by that Honey Boo Boo something, right? They sent that part. So at that point, it all looked like real legit stuff, that Q was somebody really who knows stuff about these people, how they were in their basement. They had a swimming pool where there were kids being molested and all those things. So, it was all alluding to something, but it was never giving you any incontrovertible proof, So that's why we had to back out from all that nonsense. But coming back to what you were asking, MJ12 does exist. It's not the David Wilcock MJ12 at all. Sure. These people have no idea how space programs actually work. The classifications, again, I'm going to that zone where I'm not supposed to say much. But knowing what you know, what you have seen, what you have to be very careful. You can't confirm, you cannot deny about certain things, right?
Right.
So there are people who will get hurt, not hurt in physical sense, but their careers will get destroyed. They will never work in any classified, sector. So that's why I'm careful about that part. MJ12 does exist, but it's not the one that was on Twitter. It will never be.
Sure. And I love calling out grifters or whatever. So let's just say for like guys like Jordan Sather and Praying Medic, there's reason to believe that you guys know more than you say you know, and you're still, I don't know what Praying Medic is, but Jordan Sather, you're definitely still grifting off of Q and utilizing it for your energy, basically for money, because people come and they go to your site and they give you attention and yada, yada, yada. So therefore you are monetizing your information when you know dang well that other people were posting as Q. And I think that that's something that these guys will need to address.